I'm Jessica Lybrink. Thank you all for coming. This is my senior exit project. So to start off, I'm going to do some of the things that were included in our portfolio before I get to the fun, all about me stuff. My resume and cover letter. The resume, pretty stereotypical, just kind of includes some of the achievements, different volunteer hour things. And my cover letter, I wrote to a Honey Bear daycare center, because I do intend on working at a daycare eventually. My letter of recommendation, I had 3 people write me letter of recommendations. I only have one up here right now. I chose to put Charlotte's up here because I wanted to say a special thank you to her. She's just kind of a mom in our friend group. She's always trying to push us to our limits, and she did write a very nice letter of recommendation that included a lot of my drama experiences. So for community service, I helped a church choir in Fenton. I did this with Sarah Hilto, she's right there. We ended up going into Fenton, and we helped at more than one church. And then the other things I did is I helped sort music in the band and choir room for Miss Shaw. I did this with Melanie, she's also back there. And the last thing that I did is I wrote a letter to Debbie Stabenow about the pink tax and why it should be eradicated. A lot of you probably don't know what this is. I did my research topic on it and my PSA, and I will let that speak for itself. All right, so next up, we had to do a 3 or 6 word essay. Kind of a funny story of how I got this. Not a lot of you in here will know what it is, but some of you will. Sarah, a couple people in my family. Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's a musical, and there's a song in it called The Time Warp. One of the lyrics is "Time is fleeting." So I was like, hey, that'd be a pretty good 3-word essay, but I wanted to change it to 6. So this basically just means your time is limited, so make every second count. So now on to some of the fun stuff, a little bit about me. My full name is Jessica Rose Lybrink. I was born October 26th, 2001 at Genesis Hospital to my parents, Joe and Virginia. I am the youngest of 4 children.
Please pardon the interruption. A couple of announcements. First off, track athletes. If you are still in class, you are to be released to catch the second track bus. And also, I'm looking for Frida. If you could come to the office for a moment. Thank you.
All right, back to it. I'm the youngest of 4 children. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister. I'm an aunt of 3. My sister has 2 daughters, Autumn and Ginny, and Colton, who is in school right now. I've gone to Byron my entire life, so throughout that whole high school career, middle school, elementary, I've been involved in a lot of different things. I did t-ball and softball for 10 years, volleyball for 4 years, basketball for 5, bowling for all 4 years of my high school. I did choir this year. I wish I would have been able to do it all 4 years, however, my schedule just did not allow it. This is the first year I was able to. And to any underclassmen in here who have any interest in it, do it next year, because half of the people are leaving because we're seniors, and we need more people in choir. I was in drama for 3 years. My first year, I didn't do it, because as a freshman, I felt too busy, didn't want to be incorporated in another extracurricular. I wish I would have done it my freshman year, but I ended up doing it my next 3 years, and I'm very happy I did that. Some of my hobbies, I love riding my bike. I love watching Supernatural, anything that has to do with Marvel and musicals, because along with my other hobbies, I love listening to music. It's every day. So my timeline, I'm going to keep this part short. The beginning, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and then the finale right here. I loved kindergarten, probably best, because all you do is you go and you eat snacks and you sit on a carpet and hear people read to you. That's the best thing ever. I would love to go back. However, I don't think I would want to go back to any of the other grades. My future plans. I'm in a 5th year program through LCC right now, so I intend on finishing that next year and transferring to a bigger university. Still kind of undecided. I'm thinking about SVSU, but it also depends on which scholarships I can apply for, which I can't do that till next year. I intend on going to minor in business and major in child development because I would love to own my own daycare franchise one day. My vision board. So up here in the corner I have stage lights. I would love to continue on doing drama. I had a blast this year. The Grease production was really fun, and I would love to do it in college if the university that I go to ends up having a drama department. Underneath that I have Take Me Anywhere. I've never really been out of the country. I've been to a lot of different states in the US, however, I would love to travel farther than that. I have a couple sitting in a hammock looking at the stars. This is kind of like a 3 birds with 1 stone type of deal. I love doing date nights. I also love hammocks and looking at the stars. I have one under my bed, because I have a loft bed. It's my favorite place to chill. I do intend to get married one day. Next to that, I have a daycare, because as I said previously, I would love to own one. Above that, I have a Victorian-style house. They're really pretty, they have lots of windows. In my mom's head, I know she's saying, why do you want lots of windows? You never open yours. Well, I still want lots of windows, Mom. Above that, I have a fence with roses on it. I absolutely love roses, so I've always wanted a fence around my house with them draped over it. I think it'd be really pretty and would look really good next to a Victorian-style house. Above that, I have the Scotland and Ireland flags. Those are two places that are on my bucket list that I would love to travel to. Bowling pins, because I do intend on continuing bowling, whether that be in college or just other adult leagues. I want a family with 3 kids, because I've always wanted a family. I absolutely adore children. It's just one of my goals in life. I have a library underneath that, because I love to read. I have, right there's Pine Knob. Some of you know what that is, some of you don't. Now it's known as DTE. I go to probably 6 or 7 concerts a year there, so I want to continue that. Next to that, I have a ukulele. I don't know how to play very many songs on the ukulele, but I would like to learn more. Above that, I have 2 different types of cats. I have a teacup cat. They stay really small forever. I think that's the most adorable thing ever. And above that, I have the exact opposite, a Maine Coon cat. They get like 4 feet long, which is kind of an issue because I'm allergic to cats. So just a lot of allergy medicine in my future, but still. And above that, I want to graduate. My inspirational person. I chose Misha Collins. He's most famous for his role on Supernatural as Castiel. However, that's not the reason I chose him. He's just one of those people that kind of started at the bottom. He was homeless growing up a lot, and then now he's this actor. He's a political advocate. He did an internship in the White House during the Clinton administration, and he's one of the co-founders for a huge nonprofit charity organization called Random Acts. Letter to my parents. So to start off, I would like to say thank you to you both. We don't always see eye to eye. You raised 3 kids before me, so obviously thanks for not stopping by the 4th. I know that I was not an easy child to raise, but I know I wasn't the hardest one to raise either, so there's that. Dad, thank you for always taking me to school. You work a heck of a lot to provide for our family. It's just me and you at the house now since Steven moved out, and we must be doing something right because the house is still standing. Mom, I really appreciate everything you've done for me. You've always taken me to all of my sporting events, gone to as many as you could. Please don't start crying. This is why I gave you tissues. So I don't know of anyone else that would drive up to the school because I forgot to get a permission slip signed and it's the day of the field trip. I think you had to do that twice this year already, so it's happened a lot. So I'd like to thank you both. My family. So as I said previously, I'm the youngest of 4 children. My older sister, Denise, she's up there. She's also right there. We always kind of had an interesting relationship. We've always got along, but you moved out when I was very young, and then we shared a bed when you were pregnant with Autumn. So that was fun. The best way that I can describe you, Chris, and I's relationship is that when we were younger, I was 6 years old, you were pregnant, we were sharing a twin-sized bed. Chris told me that between the crack in my bed and the wall, since my bed was hollow, there were monsters underwear, underneath there, and that's why I made you sleep next to the wall. Steven's not here, but him and I, we get along a lot better now. I'm very thankful for him. He's definitely shown me right from wrong, mostly what not to do, but I still appreciate it. And I will talk about Autumn and Ginny in a second. My friend slides. I don't know what I would do without all of you. Sarah, I see you looking at me right now. Some of you I haven't been friends with for more than a couple years. Others I've been friends with forever. Sarah, you right there. Many Boy Scout camps. Emma, I don't even know how our friendship started. You said a lot of bad puns and no one else in the friend group laughed except for me, and that was the blossom of a friendship. These are the 4 people that have probably impacted me the most throughout all of my school career. To start off, I'll talk about Autumn and Ginny. Autumn, when you were born, that was the coolest thing ever. I don't know anyone else that could say they were an ant when they were 6 years old, so I thought that was the coolest. You made me realize that I absolutely love children. Ginny, you're like a shadow. Like my shadow. You've made me realize that there's always people watching and to always set a good example, because sometimes when I don't set the best example, You show that right away, like 10 seconds after by copying it. I'm like, well, better work on that a little bit. Next, I'll talk about Brooke. Brooke couldn't be here right now because she's at a track meet. Her and I have been best friends since we were 2 years old. It was written in the stars. Her dad crashed my parents' wedding before any of us were even thoughts. So that says anything, friendship. Next is Gage. Gage, we've only been dating for a year, but we've been friends for a lot longer than that, and I don't know what I would do without you. We've had a lot of shared experiences. We survived a tornado together, and I don't think there's anyone else that I would rather do that with. So I love you, and thank you for always being there for me. My advice to the underclassmen: don't be intimidated by anything. Don't be intimidated to try out for the sport, club, or play that you want to be in. Just do it. Don't be intimidated by it. Talk to people. Don't let people intimidate you. Don't let schoolwork intimidate you. Don't. Because if you do, then you're either not going to do as good or you're not going to want to do it. Always get halfway through a project before you think about how hard it was. Because if you're halfway through, well, then you can clearly do the other half, or you'll realize it was easier than you thought. Also, always acknowledge that your actions have consequences, but still live a little. So yes, hang out with your friends, but don't forget to do your schoolwork, because you will wonder why your GPA isn't as good if you flunk your freshman classes. My senior project experience. This is not like Miss Trub says. Nope. Miss Trub kind of described it to us as there's a huge weight on your shoulders, and right when you turn the portfolio in, it's all gone. That's not the case. There's a huge boulder on your shoulders. You're also juggling a bunch of other stones. Yes, when you do turn the portfolio in, that's the big part. That's the boulder off your shoulders. However, now all the stones are on fire. There's deadlines. You have to stay with that or you're going to get burned. So just stay on top of your schoolwork and you will be all right, because over time, as you turn in assignments, as you get your project done, you're left with no stones and you're standing up here and it's your last week of school. So enjoy it. Are there any questions? Also, there's photo credits because Sarah took that picture.
I did it.
You're welcome.
Yes. So you did your PSA on the pink text. That's a really large overarching issue. How would you suggest to fix that? Is that more of like a educational thing or something that the government could come in and help regulate?
The answer to that would be both. For the government part of it, price gouging is one of the biggest issues. It would be very hard to have stricter laws about price gouging. However, it is possible, so the government could step in. Other than that, a lot of people don't know what the pink tax is, and part of fixing a problem is getting people involved and getting them to care. So, both.
Oh.
Emma, are you raising your hand or you're just looking at me? Any more? Yes.
Do you have any cherished memories in drama?
In drama, oh gosh, every memory is a cherished memory in drama. One of the ones this year that I thought was the most hilarious thing was one of the people during our Grease performance accidentally got pantsed on stage. It was supposed to be just, he had like his underwear on, then he had a pair of fake boxers, and then his pants. They were supposed to just pull off the outside pants, however they pulled off the fake boxers as well. So that was something I'll never forget. Another one is at drama practice. I think it was on your birthday, Sarah. We were all doing the Love Shack dance. It was like our entire friend group when Skylar told us, hey, you guys have 5 minutes, go chill, and then we'll come back and run more lines. And we were all just doing the Love Shack dance. And I thought, I don't think I'll ever forget that. One more question? I have to stand up here till someone asks me. Oh, Lex, sorry.
Will you miss our mornings in Melinda Smith's office?
I will miss our mornings in Melinda Smith's office. We just kind of have a little gaggle in there. We do get work done sometimes. Usually only if I tell you guys to get work done, but that's it. Yes, Ms. Trent.
This is directed to the recent, soon-to-be graduate of Kettering. When you had to write the 15-page paper, when you were handed the rubric, do you remember crying a little bit and freaking out?
I was just angry.
Yeah.
I don't think I was sad. I didn't cry.
Okay,
I
and
was
you
just
guys
really
said
mad.
nobody has to write 15 pages. Your thesis, can you talk about how many pages you're up to so far?
It's like about 50 pages right now. It's a whole thing. They give you like a 2 years prep on it, and then they're like, okay, so you have to research this for about 6 months of actual research, and then you should start writing it. Papers are always terrible. They're just bad. always, but they can get very bad and long.
So 15 pages is nothing.
One
Let's give her a hand.
1 month.